Today, we're going to delve into the concept of coast fire, the second stage on the path towards financial independence. Remember, financial independence isn't a one-size-fits-all journey. The question of how much is enough will be answered differently by each of us based on our unique needs and circumstances. But the distinct stages marking your progress along this journey will stay constant. When I first embarked on my journey towards financial freedom, there was only one type of fire. It was the stage where you had saved enough and invested enough to cover your annual expenditure indefinitely. Today though, we will deep dive into coast fire, examining its pros, its cons, and to help you determine if it suits your own life goals. We will also explore the financial calculations needed to work out how much you need for coast fire, and most importantly, when you can stop contributing to your investment accounts forever. If you do find this video useful, please leave a comment below, and if you think my content may be of benefit to someone else, please feel free to share it with them. There are a number of definitions of coast fire online. Some say it's akin to a normal working career where you work, save and invest to eventually one day retire. While I partially agree, I believe that coast fire involves a shorter working life with an early focus on building a suitable nest egg that will grow over time to support your early retirement aspirations. At this point, you can choose to move into a lower stress or lower paying job that meets your current needs, and all the time your investments are growing. Coast fire can happen when your investments will one day meet your traditional fire goals without any further money being added to your investments. I appreciate this may be a little confusing at first, so let's break this down further. If our normal financial independence number was 40,000 per year, then using the 25 times from the 4% rule, we would need 1 million saved and invested to consider ourselves traditionally financially independent. Yippee-ki-yay. However, we may consider ourselves coast fire whenever the value of our investments is significantly lower than this. The table shown here is an example of an investment account that is currently at a level of 200,000. Without adding any further money to this investment pot, and on the understanding that we hope to achieve an 8% return, then over time our investments should grow to meet our traditional fire number in 21 years. This means that we only need to earn enough money in this period to cover our expenses until such time that our investments meet our living needs. Class. In my example, I have used an 8% rate of return on our investments, and it is important to note that the money in this example is invested, not just saved. If investing is new to you, just understand that those before you have chosen to invest their money with the aim of generating a greater return on investment. If you were to save money in a bank, for example, you could expect a 3 or 4% return on your savings. However, by investing your money in the stock market, we generally expect a larger percentage return over the long term. My own investments have achieved an average of greater than 11% over the last decade, and that takes into account the 30% drop due to the pandemic a couple of years ago. However, using the same example as before, but with a 3% return on your investment each year, it would now take us 54 years to achieve our financial independence goals. There is no guarantee that the money invested will outperform your money saved. However, historically putting your money to work for you through investments would have been the better choice. Investing is also incredibly important in the fight against inflation. As an investor, we use our money to buy assets that benefit from inflation or at least keep up with it at pace. At a fixed rate of return, your savings would be more susceptible to inflationary changes. Much like going to the gym is good for your well-being, there are relatively few drawbacks to saving and investing your money for your retirement goals. But there are some that I have to point out for the sake of objectivity. You may not have enough. Your investments may go up, then they may go down, and they will do that year on year. Overall, we would hope that the trajectory of your stocks and shares is up and to the right over many decades. With that said, your investments may not meet your needs in retirement. This could be because your spending has increased over those decades, or the investments haven't achieved the expected rate of return. And you must be comfortable that you have saved and invested enough earlier in your working life so that you will achieve the goals, and that also you're keeping your budget in check during that time as well. It may demotivate you towards work. When you know your retirement is taken care of, a lot of the given about work go out the window. And I do appreciate that this should be the case for the most part anyway. But what if you are leaving your life's work or great potential behind? What if you could have created a life-saving treatment or a drug that cured cancer? This specific question is probably the one that I ask myself the most. Have I more to give? Am I being selfish for retiring early? These are the likely questions you'll have to ask yourself also, and I can't give you the answer for that. Right this second, for me, retirement is awesome. Will I choose to work in the future again? I have no idea. You might die. It's a fact of life that you're going to die, and around 1 in 5 of us will die before the age of 60. Sacrificing your lifestyle now does come at a cost, and there is a chance that you may not live to access and to spend your money in retirement. But don't worry, your husband or wife or your kids will love it. I know. Any happy stories, Connor? Well, actually, yes I do, as there are some amazing benefits of focusing on Coast Fire. Saving for retirement can often seem daunting. It may feel like an endless treadmill from which there is no escape. However, Coast Fire offers an alternative route. By choosing to save aggressively for a short period early in our careers, many of us will be able to step off this metaphorical treadmill as early as possible. We do that by allowing time and our investments to do the heavy lifting. And with the power of compound interest, our wealth will grow significantly.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Living an intentional lifestyle. Achieving Coast Fire will require greater contributions as early as possible, but in doing so, reaching this goal and no longer have to contribute to your retirement nest egg provides a level of freedom, and it allows you to be intentional with your remaining working years. Change careers. Many individuals that I know who are on their journey towards Coast Fire have significantly improved their lives upon reaching their targeted coast number. Some have opted to reduce their working hours, while others have managed to transition into single income families. Generally, these people enjoy more flexibility to live a life of purpose, pursuing careers that they genuinely want to work in versus jobs that just pay the bills. There are 2 key variables when planning for Coast Fire. The first is the amount of money that you can invest, and the second is the length of time available for investing this money. The longer we allow our investments to grow, the less we need to invest. That's incredibly important. Let's consider a retirement plan that requires $40,000 per year. We would eventually need a retirement pot of $1 million based on the 4% rule, which is 25 times our annual budget. If we assume an average 8% return on our investment over the lifetime of our investment horizon, we can approximate some real world scenarios at different ages, planning to retire at a traditional retirement age of 68. Tony is 20 and has 48 years till retirement. Using our compound interest example, it would take 38 years for £50,000 to reach 1 million at 8% compound growth. This means that Tony has 10 years of saving and investing to eventually retire a millionaire. You might think that he needs to save £5,000 per year to reach that goal, but with compound interest, the amount is even less. In fact, it's only £3,000 over each of the first 10 years. Charlene, 35, has 33 years until retirement age. She recently inherited some money and is willing to put $75,000 away for her Coast Fire plans. Without any further contributions, she would be able to achieve traditional fire with only this money invested. And Charlene, if you're watching this video, you don't need to book that round the world cruise, you need to put your money away for your future. Sean is 40 and he's 28 years away from his retirement. If he saves and invests £12,000 per year over the next 15 years to achieve $363,000, then leaving the money invested for the next 13 years will allow him to reach his target goals. As you can see, the older you are, the more aggressively you need to save for your retirement. As the old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the second best time is now. So if you're in your 30s, 40s or 50s and watching this video, it's time to take action. And I would even say that for those of you who are in your 20s as well. Coast Fire is an important step for anyone on their journey towards financial independence. Once your investments reach a level where they will one day grow to cover your regular living expenses, it is incredibly liberating. While some of you will choose to let your investments grow over time just to reach that Coast Fire amount, others will want to continue investing heavily and aggressively so that they can reduce the amount of time until they reach financial independence. But Coast Fire gives you that option. This is your journey, and what works for you will not be suitable for somebody else, and Coast Fire gives you the flexibility of choice. I remember doing my own calculations on my financial independence journey and realizing that if I just left those investments for the next 20 years, they would meet my financial goals at that time. This was the moment where I realized that my retirement was secure, and if the worst case scenario happened to my business or to my wife's job, we only had to find a way to earn enough money to pay our current bills without any further consideration for our future. With financial security all but guaranteed in my retirement, I doubled down my efforts and focused even more on achieving financial independence. With Coast Fire achieved, this is where you start to see your investments really working for you. They are growing and just doing their thing in the background, and any further contributions you make just start to snowball your investments. Eventually, the money that you have invested will grow quicker than any further investments that you make, and that is the beauty of compound growth over the long term. If I were starting out on my journey towards financial independence right this second, I would give little consideration to the other stages of financial independence and concentrate my efforts on achieving Coast Fire. Because at this point, the world opens up, flexibility enters your life, and you create a world filled with choices. Do you want to change jobs? Maybe. Or even start a business? Possibly. Have you always wanted to move abroad? Yes, I have. The choice is yours when you are secure in the knowledge that financial independence should one day happen. And no matter what age you are watching this video, I recommend that you look at your target financial independence number and invest aggressively to achieve this number as quickly as possible. It may mean that you have to reduce your expenses elsewhere, and often these sacrifices feel like huge challenges to overcome. But I promise you that you'll look back 5, 10 or 20 years from now and wish you'd started sooner. Thank you as always for watching Founded Money. My name is Connor. This is a video about Coast Fire in my series of the stages of financial independence. But on my channel, I talk about making money, saving money, investing money, and retiring early. I would be delighted if you'd subscribe to the channel. You can do that on the link below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. To play out this video is another song that I am working on at the minute. I hope you enjoy it. Bye bye.